what? A teacher once told me when I first started seriously working and really seriously like committed every spare moment I had that I wasn't taking care of making money, I painted and I drew and I took classes and I took 4 years in an atelier. And the owner of the ateliers told me, you have to do this every day. You can't just come on Saturdays and Sundays and do this. You have to do it every day. And he said, do it in public, do it in meetings, do it whenever you're sitting there idly. Get out a piece of paper and draw.
So tell me, is there any relationship between the way you put together this salad, because you're just really loose and spontaneous about this, you've done it so many times. Is there a relationship between this and the way you paint? Or is it altogether different?
No, there should be, huh? There should be. I should be this spontaneous when I paint.
But are you?
No, but when I draw, I am. But you're right, I should bring this to the painting, but I've done this so many times. And eating, I don't know. I love to eat, and I just have
But you love to paint too.
I think I love to eat more than I love to do anything else. I want my work to have a certain kind of, the word is integrity, but that's still not the right word. Like a certain kind of a presence on the page. I like really graphical shapes. And that's what I've been looking for, is that division of space. I think that's what I really love about that work from the work from the 30s and the 40s. And there's a contemporary artist I love named Felicia Forte, and her work is like that too. It has a real, she really pays attention to the shapes of things and how they're laid out on the page in a very graphical, designed way. So I want to do that, but I don't want to go too far in that direction because I want it to still stay spontaneous and emotional too, because I feel like I'm kind of a funny mixture of I like things to be perfect, and I'm really, what's the word? I like things to be just so. I'm a perfectionist, and I want things done just right. And that's from so many years working in the magazine industry, where perfection was any imperfection, that was a sin, to make any imperfection. Everything had to be lined up to within a 32nd of an inch. So my training has been that. But I'm also really an emotional person. I get angry really easily, and I cry really easily, and I don't have a sense of humor. But if I did have a sense of humor, I would laugh really easily. So I'm a funny blend of that, of this like trained perfectionist, but somebody who's really emotional. And I want to figure out, how do I walk that line? How do I walk the line between just let it all hang out, be emotional, and that's what I want to do in my portraits. I want to be able to channel who the person is. I don't want it to be just decoration. I want it to be the Manitou of the person. I want it to be that spirit of the person. You can catch the likeness without doing a rendering. So I have to feel confident enough in my skills as a renderer to let those skills go, to say, I don't have to render this perfectly. And I have to be able to do a balance between poking at it and getting all of the blending right and the edges right, and just putting down the brush stroke and trusting that that brush stroke is there. And the analogy to music would be when you first learn to play a jig or a reel, you learn it the way your teacher taught it to you. You learn where all of their ornamentation is, you learn where their breathing is, because they're transmitting this piece to you orally. But then you take it home and you woodshed it, and you forget maybe what your teacher taught you in this part. So you go, well, this kind of sounds good. I'll do this here. Or you make mistakes, and then within those mistakes, you find a new piece of the tune. And the tune comes alive for you then. And then if it comes alive for you, it comes alive for other people. They may hate what you did, but it'll still be more alive than if you're just playing it like your teacher did. So I think with painting is the same way. Like maybe you copy the masters, or you study the masters, or you learn what they did, but then when you start to paint, you have to go, I'm going to make a mistake here. I'm going to put this down here and see what this does. I just feel so excited by what I'm doing, like all the things I'm learning now, and all about space and rhythms and just how to handle the paint, and scared too about like trying to not always be perfect and where that's going to lead me. Every day I draw. If I don't draw, I feel unhappy. I actually feel miserable if I don't draw or I don't paint. You know when I also really started to grow as an artist, when I got over that fear of taking out my sketchbook in public and starting to draw at a party, or for me at a session, or at a cafe. When I got over that fear, then I found that I drew a lot, and I just stopped being worried about what people think. I just don't really care anymore what they think, what I do. And maybe I had to achieve a certain amount of skill before I could get past that and not care anymore. And I think that, you know, when we talk about the scarcity, the myth of scarcity, or the scarcity of materials, you know what we're really talking about is we're talking about the scarcity of time. I mean, materials, yes, they are expensive, but every artist has got, maybe not you, but most artists have got piles of paper. People give me newsprint all the time. People give me paper all the time. I find it. I once found $500 worth of watercolor paper sitting out in a dustbin. Seriously, I did. I don't know if it was a divorce or what, but I took it home because I know how much that stuff costs. I still have that stuff because I'm saving it, I'm hoarding it, but what I'm really hoarding is the time. I'm going, oh, I'm not going to go to Life Drawing today because I'm tired, or my grandkids are visiting, or, you know, I'm not going to draw today because this is going on or that's going on, or, you know, I'm at my mom's, or we went to a party, and as I've gotten older, I've just really made that commitment and made that decision that I'm going to use up that paper, and I use my time. You know, there's that saying, time is the coin of your life. How do you want to spend it? And I feel like to take risks, if you go, oh, I only have an hour to draw today, it's like saying I only have one piece of paper, right? I only have an hour, so I want it to be perfect. Whereas if you say, I'm going to draw today for an hour, I'm going to draw tomorrow for an hour, I'm going to draw the next day for an hour, what am I going to do today that's different? How am I going to grow today? If you've given yourself, if you're spending that time, you're going to take more risks because it's not going to be so precious to you. I'm talking about really time. You know? You got to use that. Use it up. Spend your life like you want to spend your life. I mean, you have to make money too. I'm not saying you don't. I'm a realist on that. But so much of our time that's not spent supplying our needs is spent watching TV or surfing the internet or just doing stupid stuff.